Hello and welcome. Today we are speaking about a very important subject in Tantra. Tantra means expansion of awareness. And what we want to bring today is why we are sometimes afraid of expanding our awareness, why we don't accept our aliveness, how, how we contract ourselves in that aliveness, how we create difficulties in ourselves to really expand our consciousness. Because Tantra, it's all about expansion of consciousness. And at the end, the reality, the world, it's full of light, it's full of energy, it's amazing and beautiful. But there is some challenge on the way.
Yeah, so why do we live our lives in this fear of being fully alive? It's such a great question. And it's as if we prefer to stay small and safe and in this dark little hole where, nobody's going to criticize us or judge us. So I think that it's very prominent in the world where a lot of people don't want to shine their light because they're afraid of being criticized. They're afraid of being taken advantage of. They're afraid of being too much for other people or feeling guilty that other people might see them as a threat, because that can happen. Like if you're really alive and happy, some people take that as a threat, like, oh, you're too much, or you think people will think you are better than them, which is not always the case. So there's a lot of factors, and it's as if we are, as a society, conditioned to be playing small, to be feeling like we're not enough, and it's not safe to come out and show our light. So today we're going to go into that to see, with tantric principles, how we can really open our hearts and be more light, bright, and joyful.
And at the same time, to be compassionate with ourselves and gentle and kind for what happens in each moment, because Tantra, it's based in two pillars, and one is meditation. And meditation is not to be seated in lotus position with eyes closed, waiting that the silence happen. Meditation is to be aware of what is. And if in each moment we are with that difficulties, with that blockage to expand our awareness, to show our aliveness, to reveal our creativity, the first thing we need to do is to be aware of that, and without guilty, without uh, shame, just look to the facts for what we are discovering. And that is meditation, because we are being aware of what is. And Tantra is the expansion of awareness. We need to expand our awareness based in what is real, not in a fantasy, not in what we want to be, but in what it is, without bringing more shame, without feeling guilty about, just is what is, even to celebrate whatever it comes, because it's a step towards ourselves, a step towards the universe, a step towards the reality at the end, a simple reality.
And where does our shame originally come from? Like, when was that point in our lives where we started to feel shameful about showing our light, about being fully joyous and happy? Probably when we were small children and we were a little bit crazy, running everywhere, exploring, and we had this curiosity of life. We were so alive, we were new to this embodiment, and everything was fascinating. I mean, as a baby, we would stick our fingers in our toes and our mouths, and everything was just such a wonder. then we started running around and doing all sorts of things and driving our parents probably a little bit mad. And they were worried. So they would often like, sit down, be quiet, because they felt shame of their kid being unruly and wanted to make sure the child was not bothering all the people around. So that containment, that those reins that they had on us to pull us into this little well organized package of quietness was, I would say, one of the starting points of us feeling like we're doing something wrong if we're too much. And yeah, there's a fine line between what I'm saying and disciplining children and giving them boundaries. But I do believe that that is where the shame of our joyousness can come from.
All our work is based in your own experience. It's never too much to repeat that you are your own guru and your body is your teacher. It's your own experience. It's the way that you look inside of yourself that makes real for you and is our invitation. It's always to go there. We can speak about our own experience, our own perception of the reality, but that's the most important thing. Going back to your body, going back to yourself, going back to find by yourself your truth. And today we are bringing this paradox that is in life, and we bring that to Tantra. That is, in one side, we want to be alive, we want to expand, but in the other side, there is sometimes, maybe for some of us, some refrain, some limitation, some contraction of that aliveness that we are. And as Lakshmi say, maybe that start when we were very young. That start at home, maybe it start in the school, maybe start in in the market, in the life itself with others. Just look at that. Maybe we are doing this live in different continents, maybe in different countries, different kinds of cultures, different kinds of conditioning. Maybe some countries, some cultures where are more contracting the happiness because it's too much. We need to sit down. Some are contracting more the expression of anger and boundaries, or others are contracting and sending signals that we could not live our sadness, our deep sadness. And all these emotions, it's what it creates the possibility for us to be alive, is to feel what is in the body, what is real in each moment. And to go back to ourselves, to go back to our emotions, to go back to that wisdom that we all have. It's our invitation today, now.
So a lot of tantric practices and meditations are an opportunity to go back to what really is. So, like Ashik was saying, it's really up to us to figure out what is true for us. How we want to express ourselves in the world is going to be different when you look at different people, and what conditions we have. Some can be similar, but some can be very different. So when we use Tantra as a way to come back to our true selves, it's an opportunity to consciously express ourselves in our most authentic way. And when we start to peel off these layers of conditioning, we can sometimes experience pain. And we are taught to avoid pain as much as possible. But if we feel the pain fully and we allow ourselves to go through it, we can let it go. Because a lot of times we will be so conditioned and stuck But once we peel off the layers and see what's there, we can experience what's there and allow it to move through us. Hmm.
That brings us sometimes the fear, which is uh, common, which is usual, and that is to be respect. That fear of not, to fear of not hurt ourselves, to fear to open, because when we open for the expansion of awareness, we also open to the difficulties, the challenge that we have in that expansion of awareness. One of the fields that Tranter bring is the sexuality that most of other paths of self-realization don't bring, because Tantra believes that everything starts on the body, not stays on the body. There is much more, and the body is energy, is wisdom. But when we speak about the body, we speak about all the body. We speak about also the genitals, we speak about sexuality. And when we open ourselves, when we open ourselves to feel in a sexual act, things happen, and everything should be welcome. At the same time, that we need to be aware of our limits, to be kind with ourselves, and to not push behind um, what is acceptable in each moment, that we can handle in each moment, to always respect ourselves, our pain, our wounds, to expand our awareness in a soft and with integration of all the things that we feel. That implies normally to go slower, that implies to have time to integrate, but to bring that expansion of awareness, to bring that space of vulnerability to the sexual connection, it's fundamental in the Tantra path, because the life force energy that is on the sexuality, our ability to create life, it's also the ability to create anything. The source is the same. It's our energy, it's our base energy. And maybe uh, one of the things that people, we all wanted, it's abundance in our life. Abundance of material things, but also of love, of compassion, of presence, of expansion of awareness. We cannot forget that when we expand and we want abundance, we are inviting everything to come more. If it's coming more of everything, maybe it doesn't come only US dollars or pleasure in making love. Maybe also it comes the our limitations in believing in ourselves to have the US dollars. Or maybe it comes feelings that we were not expecting in making love. It means abundance, it's not, oh, I'm going now to have a good thought about money and to have, wow, a couple of million of US. Abundance, when we vibrate in abundance, it's because we are ready to accept that more will come on us. It means that we are using our energy and our body to contain and to circulate more energy, all the energies.
And when we have more energy, we have more responsibility. Because with that power, if you're attracting a lot of money, then you have the responsibility of how to manage that money. If you are attracting an abundance of success, online or with your business, with properties or whatever it may be, you will have more things to handle and responsibility. So, with great power comes great responsibility. That's a Spider-Man quote. But it's so true. It's so true that when you attract more into your life, you're not just going to get loads of love. You will get heartbreak. You will get mirrors shown up at you all the time, because love isn't an easy path. Love is a path of truth, and the truth can be painful. And then when we attract more of this into our lives, we get stronger and we realize that pain is not the enemy. Joy is not the enemy. We start to open ourselves so wide, like Tantra teaches us to open our hearts and to accept more of what life has to offer. And when we can do this with authenticity and truth, we can live a fully alive and expansive life. We don't go, oh no, I want some of this, but not of that. You can't have lots of money and no taxes. I mean, if you don't want to pay taxes, you have to learn how to manage your taxes if you have money, or you just pay it all to the government or whatsoever. You have to learn how to manage the money. You have to learn how to contain and love and manage the love and all of the things that come to you. So it's not just about manifesting and creating one thing. You have to expand your entire set of tools to manage life. Yes.
Yeah, life is a challenge in many aspects. And in Tantra, with the perspectives that we have of expansion of our own consciousness, we bring this challenge to our heart. And with the love pillar of Tantra. And in the other side, with the other pillar of Tantra, the meditation, we see what it is. And all the challenge become energy. It becomes fuel to keep going, to keep the life expansion, the awareness of our own expansion. And maybe you are a painter, maybe you are a teacher, maybe you are a musician, maybe whatever profession you have, maybe you are a builder, or maybe you are a fisherman, or a chef. It doesn't matter what is your profession. Maybe you need to be recognized. Maybe you feel that you deserve to be recognized. Maybe you feel that you want to have other visibility. But with that visibility also come challenge. Maybe comes the public exposition. Maybe comes image from when you were a kid, and that time that you were limited on that visibility, on that self-creativity. And then you maybe connect with your self-judgments about yourself, how you reduce yourself. And we all have that. Doesn't matter if you are a person that is used to speak with 2 million people, or a person that are not in that field, that is in his or her own little world. We all have that if we are aware. And that's also opportunity for getting more in contact with our own feelings and our own limitations, and with that voices of judgment that sometimes are not usual, are not useful, I mean, anymore, because they were maybe voices that we come from the childhood, maybe was from our young years, and that voices that limits us in that moment, that doesn't make any sense right now, and they are still there, and you were not observing. Because when we expand our awareness, we are also expanding the ability to see what is limiting ourselves, and then we have to be gentle and kind. It's the fundamental words. And again, give time to integrate, give time to yourself, give time to regulate your nervous system, and to slowing down, it's a way. Sometimes slowing, we go further.
Yes, going slow, you go much further because we can be more aware and we have more opportunity to be compassionate with ourselves. When we talk about the disciplines of being on the spiritual path, as we've said previously in another video, self-love is the first discipline. And when we choose to live a life of expansion and full aliveness, we are choosing to expose ourselves, to expose our shadows, because if we don't, we're not showing our full selves. So Tantra teaches us to look at our shadows and to shine the light of awareness on our shadows, to bring them to the light, to love them, because whatever our shadows might be, they possibly served a purpose in our younger years. They helped protect us, or they helped us to feel safe, or whatsoever. And when we choose a life of aliveness and expansion, it can be painful because our body has contracted, holds tension where these shadow parts of us are not loved. And then when we start to crack that open, our egos or our minds can be like, what's going on? This isn't safe. We have this thing holding us. And that's why it's so important to use the practices like breathing. As soon as you feel that contraction, and it's okay to contract, like sometimes in life something will happen and will trigger a response from a childhood pattern and your body contracts. It's a perfect opportunity to breathe, take a deep breath, and to be aware of where you feel that contraction in the body, and to breathe into that space even more and tell yourself it's okay. You don't need this pattern anymore. And we are in another stage of life. You're an adult. You can open. You can express your joy. It is safe to express your joy. It is safe to be you. And this also brings me to the point of imposter syndrome. Like you were saying, it's very common that we have these little voices in our heads from when we're very young, and they can come with us all the way into adulthood if we choose. And it takes awareness and practice to choose or not to choose, or to let those voices go. But many times when we start to have this life of fullness and aliveness, we will do things that make us afraid, that make us feel, oh, what if people judge me? What if people criticize me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't know what I'm talking about? And those are perfectly natural things to have. And actually, I think they're healthy to have, because then you're like, am I allowed to say this? And of course you are. It's good to have that attitude of like, who am I to say this? Because then you're not a very arrogant person. You're actually looking at yourself realistically, and you can choose to say, I have a message and I want to share it, and I choose to not listen to this voice because I know and understand where it comes from. But now I'm here in this moment and I have this message to share, or I want to achieve this in my life, and I'm going to take these steps to do it, even though it might be scary, even though it might be painful. And as we step forward, we create the path as we go along. It might not be clear at first, but it's taking the first step out of our little comfort zone to a life of expansion. And it's okay to be scared. It's okay to have imposter syndrome, and it's okay to be worried about what people think. What's not okay is to stay in that stuck place if you really don't want to. And that brings me to the little quote that I've loved so much. Magic happens outside of your comfort zone.
And at the same time, we need to know where is out, very out of our comfort zone, and to be gentle in ourselves, to not push ourselves, because we have been so conditioning to push ourselves to be in a performance goal oriented perspective of life, instead of to be in our own feeling of life, our own, to trust our own intuition, to expand from that place. Because expansion is so important, what Lakshmi said. Expansion is not just to go and to push through, to have more, I want to expand my awareness, I want to make love for 6 hours, I want more, a couple millions, I want this, that. It's not about that. It's not pushing through. It's about to hold what we are feeling each moment. And the life naturally, it's expanding. The whole universe, it's expanding. The galaxies, the universe, since the Big Bang, it's the actual scientific explanation of the universe. And for sure, our ability to create more awareness, it's possible to expand also, and to expand naturally, just to be what it is in each moment. And that's a big shift, to stop to try to transform everything, to stop to optimize all the things. I took an MBA. I was studying, uh, I don't know, 30 more 40, a long time ago, uh, just how to do the things better, how to get better, instead of that's okay, and that's okay, it's useful, it brings lots of things in life. But to in intimacy, especially when we start intimacy with ourselves, to start the expansion of our wisdom from our body, from ourselves, and then to connect with the other, it it has to be at a certain rhythm, the rhythm of life, the rhythm of the nature, the wisdom of nature, the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the sun, to connect with, we're really with our own nature. And that's not poetry, it's very practical, it's very real, and is connected with our own expansion of awareness.
Gentleness and compassion for the self is like one of the most important things on this path, along with the self discipline, because, like Ashik was saying, to push too fast and too hard can actually re traumatize you or create new traumas or even create uh, unhealthy patterns. So it's really important to have a very deep connection with ourselves and what truly matters to us, and to really know how we are feeling in any given moment. That is why self-love is so important, because then we get to know ourselves better. And self-inquiry, self-awareness practices like meditation can be so profound, because then we, even yoga practices or dance, where you really in the body with less of this conditioned mind talking to you all the time, and dropping into the body and allowing the body to express itself will help you to develop a practice of self-awareness, will help you to know what your body's messages are saying, because the body is very intelligent and always talking to us. And when we have this anxiety in the belly or like funny butterflies, it's your body saying something. When we feel anger, it's our body saying something. So when we learn to understand those truly, then we can have more patience and compassion for ourselves, and we can take the next step more aligned with what we really want and what we really need. It's great to have a decision and a goal, but to push beyond all the things that your body is saying, because like you were saying, we always were given this, okay, now you need to do this at school and that, and when you leave school, there's always these carrots dangling in front of you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we chase it at the expense of our own selves, our authentic selves, and our bodies, our health, what are we doing it for? Because if we're trying to get validation from other people, we will be disappointed, because we will be trying to live up to other people's expectations, and it's impossible, actually, because everybody has their own set of values and their own belief systems, and we're on this planet to create our own path, our own way of living, and express our own light and joy. And we can't do that when we are trying to meet other people's expectations, because it's not true for us. It could be like they could match sometimes, and that's great, but they will match more with the right person, the right expectations, well, not expectations, but the right vibration of somebody else, if we are in true alignment with ourselves. And I think that is one of the most important things to live a life of expansion and full awareness, is to have this centered relationship with ourselves, this non-egoic love and compassion for ourselves, which will ripple out to others. So as soon as we start here, this is where it starts. And like you said, this sexual energy, creative energy, life force energy is our fundamental energy. It's not some dirty, perverted, energetic thing about us. It is our true nature. And when we can see the light of that, when we can see the beauty of that and use it in love and use it with compassion and understanding of what it is, having an expansive and alive life will be much easier.
Mm, absolutely. And besides the breath that helps us to connect more with our body, it's also to be aware of the movement, because we sometimes we dance or we move without being aware of the movement of our body, and to bring that in that awareness in the present moment every time that we are moving, to see by like an observer, like to bring the meditation in practice before we bring that, oh, but I just want to make love better or other thing. Say, okay, start in your body, start to be aware of your breath, of course, main key of tantra, of the expansion of awareness that you can bring, of course, to the sexuality, but also to bring consciousness about how your body moves, and how we sometimes we are so conditioning in moving in certain way. And our invitation is try different. There is other options. Try to see that what is usual for you, what is that you do automatically, and look if your hand is moving this way, and experiment to move the hand in other way. And maybe it looks very little thing, but the ability to bring in your life other options, it's expansion of awareness. And maybe if you want a motivation for doing that, think about you making love. Maybe you do in the same way. Maybe you change the positions, but there is like these 10 positions that you use it. But to bring awareness about how is your feet right in that moment, to be aware if you are breathing in or out, and the sound, the third key of Tantra, how you express the sound. How is the sound coming from you? It's naturally, it's deep, or as many times it happened, there is no sound. Why? Try to get out the sound. And maybe you connect with other parts of yourself and your body, and you start to expand more your awareness. Yeah.
Mm. It's so interesting when we become more self-aware and then we're living our day-to-day life, maybe making love, or and we can pause for a moment and see, oh, I'm acting out of a compulsion. It's like a pattern, it's some conditioning, you know. For example, you are in a fight and you get triggered and you react the same way you reacted with your parents, or you keep going into somebody insults you and you take it personally and you go into this child space. Uh, Anything can happen, but it's those magic moments where you feel like contracting that you can breathe into it and see, this is from this stage, or this makes me, this feeling is familiar. So with this practice, we can love and accept those moments and those things that come up, those feelings or emotions, and just let them be. Because that's really important, is to not judge ourselves for having anything, having negative thoughts, and it's okay to go slow in life, and it's okay to be gentle with ourselves. In fact, if we are not gentle with ourselves, we can't expect the rest of the world to be gentle with ourselves. If you're wanting other people to be gentle with you, see if you are gentle with yourself first. Because we are our own worst critic and we can be really tough on ourselves, and that reflects onto being tough on other people sometimes, for example. But it's so important to give ourselves space. And when we realize, like, oh, this is a pattern, take a moment. Put your hand on your heart and say it's okay to feel this way, or maybe it's a good feeling and you're like, oh, I'm enjoying this feeling, I want more of this, and you can allow it to expand. Because there's nothing wrong with the contraction, but if we choose to open, we have to take the steps courageously and compassionately.
Because we can go in the world and we full expand our knowledge, our resources, but if we don't go inside of ourselves and to expand our awareness about ourselves, about the gentleness that we can bring to ourselves, we are just poor. We can be like the others say, is a poor man, he just have money, because there is something missing on his or her life, and that expansion of what we feel, what we are, is really rich. And yeah, I had the opportunity very young to be working with people with great wealth, and I found it's perfect to have all that resources available. But also I saw that mostly of the cases there was an imbalance between the external resources and the inner resources for each one of them to feel themselves. And of course, um, in intimacy, there is a reflect on that. There is a lack, there is an imbalance between the outside world and the inner world. And it's not something that we can buy. We can buy trainings, we can buy therapists, we can buy lots of things, but work has to be done by ourselves in each moment. The work has to be that courage that you speak, to to go inside, not only the courage to take decisions outside, but the courage to cross places that sometimes are not easy. And maybe when we speak about trauma, maybe you are thinking, but I don't have traumas. Never happened something particularly strong in my life. Yeah, I had that kind of thoughts also. And then I found out that trauma, it's not the event itself, but how we had absorb, how we had to deal with that event in our life at energetic level. And might be very looking small things, but then I could observe how these little small things were restraining my life and the expansion of myself, the expansion at all levels, actually. And to be much more kind and gentle, giving time to integrate this experience, to be slower accepting them, to ask sometimes for help, sometimes to just to give a time to have space inside to absorb that, and especially to be very lovely with my inner child that needs sometimes to be again and again uh, receive a shower of love and compassion.
Mm, going slow can be so painful sometimes because it gives you the opportunity to really to look and to feel, to see what's true for you, and going slow can also bring to light what is not in alignment with you. So a lot of people in our society prefer to go fast, fast, achieve, achieve, and be busy, and like I'm doing this, I'm going to yoga, I'm going to meditation, I'm going to ecstatic dance, I'm going to this conference or this retreat, and we fill our lives up with so many things because we think that being busy makes us more valued, makes us more involved, makes us more, or we're looking for people to connect with because we don't want to be at home sitting by ourselves. And if we're at home by ourselves, we are scrolling or watching Netflix or something like that. And there's so many distractions. It's impossible for somebody these days to sit by themselves and to see what they truly want. And to be fully alive means to also be fully authentic and fully yourself, which needs space. You need the space to feel. If you've got lots of things on your calendar, you're rushing here and there and everywhere, and you're here, you're not living down there or from the heart. Maybe you're doing lots of heart centered things, but still, if you've got this calendar that's creating a lot of things for you to do, you're doing them. And it takes a lot of practice to be being them. And there's no judgment in being busy, but if you are burning yourself out and not really feeling who you are authentically, then you're not giving yourself the space that you need to become fully alive. And spaciousness, slowness, and awareness are all fantastic things that meditation can give you.
If you can bring uh, some things to your life from our talk is about slowness, to slow down, to slow down, to arrive fast, if you want the motivation, but to let it go the performance and the goal oriented, but and to look at that if you slow down, you can have more safety to feel and to give time to integrate in your life. And this is not a selfish movement. This is an example that you can bring to the world to be more responsible for yourself and then for the world, because the expansion of awareness starts in ourselves but expand in the world. And maybe you are more aware of the consequences of your acts emotionally, the projections that you might have on the others, but also economically, the consequences of every act that you have. Because every time that you spend a euro or dollar or whatever currency that you are using energy toward something. You are expressing one wish that you have. You are putting energy there while you are buying something, while you are committed to something. But also ecologically, every time that you are having an act to even to to choose the water that you are bringing, if it's in a plastic bottle, if it's coming from a, long distance, lots of CO2 to transport that water to you. For example, bringing that awareness to every act of your life. It's not a selfish act, it's a collective act. It's a possibility to bring a better world, not only for yourself, but for the others, because there is more, much more awareness in each act. And maybe we'll find in the process that, oh, but I took too much flights last year. I took a lot of flights actually. And then at least you are aware that you are doing that as a consequence in the world of that, not for you feeling guilty or shame. And if you feel, okay, I'm feeling that, not feeling guilty because you feel guilty, then is, but if it is happening, okay, every moment is an opportunity to expand your own awareness about yourself and about the world.
Yeah, it's a responsibility to show up for ourselves and to show up for the world, to do the right thing and to use our power, our money as our power, because that's what it is really. It's our power, who we decide to support. And when we live in a world that's more aligned with us, it's much easier to be expansive and alive. Now we have a lot of challenges in our world where there's many unethical companies and pollution and all the rest. And we feel powerless. But it's because we all feel powerless that we are not powerless. But if everybody thought, okay, I am powerful because everybody is powerful, then we can use our power, our money, our choices, our voices to create the world that we want to live in. And when we start to really love ourselves and we are compassionate to ourselves, gentle, and we keep walking the path of truth and alignment for ourselves, we start to realize that the more we love and accept ourselves and are gentle and compassionate, the more our outer world is reflecting that. Because we reflect, what's inside is reflected on the outside. But that also means that we will be more compassionate and loving to other people. It doesn't work if you say, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, and you're going to see just abundance and stuff, because you're just thinking those thoughts. You're not feeling them and you're not behaving them. It's not, it comes from more than just affirmations. It's direction, action, alignment. And even so, we will still see things in our world that may not be in alignment with us. And it's how we deal with that, how we react to those situations. Not just like, oh, that's terrible, and you judge, but like, okay, that's happening, and how do you respond and react? So it's really important to start within. And like you brought up the inner child needs to be loved, it needs to be held, it needs to be made to feel safe.
Mm. We can look to all our difficulties in this life and how the world is not as we wish it was. And at the same time, uh, as Lakshmi is saying, to put energy towards the world that we visualize, to vibrate in that world, to embody that world, to connect that world from our inside, from our bodies, and to allow that to expand. And in one side, that is all that we as humans we can live. But in the other side is to look a little further, to look to how the universe it is. Because if we see this huge universe full of galaxies, and we are in a small galaxy, in a very small solar system, in a very small planet, and we are just these small beings that are living with awareness as far as we know in these bodies in this period of life, and to see all the beauty that this planet has already, the nature, the oceans, the trees, the air that is always available, and our bodies, it's a mystery, our the pumping, the heart and the breathing, and to bring back that to ourselves, to bring back that expansion of awareness about what we are and what is around us. It's something really incredible and magic, because many times people are looking for magic, are asking for magic instead of observing the magic that is happening already inside of each of us. It mean what I mean is, in one side we have challenge, and that's energy for our life. But in other side, it's very good to remember the reality of the things, and that are pure and magic all the time.
Oh, I
Mm.
really love what you just said. It's we are walking miracles. We are living in a miraculous world. Like it blows me away sometimes how I can sometimes get lost in the darkness and in the negative things and or caught up in my negative emotions, which I know that everybody does, and it's okay as well. It's part of the beauty. But if we could every day see this world with wonder, with like a child's eyes, if we walk down the road and we see everyone is like an opportunity to love, if we see the plants growing as an opportunity to be in such awe of what life is, and remember that we are a little blue ball flying through space, it's just incredible. And I think that wonder and that joy and that awe of what is really important to living an expansive and full life. And if we are expanding and feeling more joyous in life, and then one day something happens and we contract, it's okay, because you'll never contract to the same place. As you expand, you will never go back exactly the same. And when you contract again, because you will, and that's okay, love yourself, be gentle with yourself, and it's okay to be gentle, it's okay to be slow, and it's okay for the parts of you that are not yet ready to fully expand, because they will be. And patience is very important and part of being gentle with yourself.
Mm. Yeah, in one side it's to be gentle in with ourselves. In other side is what we can live, how we can live this in this world to bring more beauty, more abundance, more aliveness, to bring a better world in our in this planet. But our invitation is always feel it. It's we spoke, we speak, we share our experience, and in our experience, our invitation is to feel yourself, to feel your body, to look at how you can expand um, your vision of the world, how you can contribute in real terms for a better world, and to recognize the beauty that the world is already is, and the universe that already is. Never forget that this planet, as the recent scientific discoveries show, it as a life also, as a beginning and as end, like us. And to the privilege that we are in this moment between glaciers, in this environment that is so good for life, for the diversity of life that we can live in this planet. It's something absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Magnificent. And if we remember the fact that the body is the doorway, we don't have to look outside for enlightenment or any validation. If we work on our own bodies, this is a miraculous tool that we have to explore this world, to navigate, to love, to cry, to dance, to explore different countries, to do different exercises, to do whatever. We have this tool and this doorway to higher consciousness. It's not through escaping ourselves, it's through ourselves that we will find a deeper connection to God, to the divine, or whatever you want to call it, or just existence itself, because we are existence itself.
Thank you.